When four legends with unmatched skills are brought together for a mission in the heart of chaos, betrayal and high-stakes action collide. In a race against time through stormy cities, fiery deserts, and enemy strongholds, their bonds will be tested, their limits pushed, and a shocking twist will leave you questioning everything. This is the ultimate showdown of loyalty, power, and redemption. In the heart of a storm-ravaged city, where the neon lights flickered like ghosts, four heroes found themselves drawn into a mission that none of them could have predicted. The rain poured relentlessly, creating a slick, treacherous landscape as the streets buzzed with the sound of gunfire and explosions. Vin, the calm, calculating leader, stood at the helm of the operation, his fists clenched, ready for whatever was about to unfold. His voice rang out above the chaos, issuing commands to his team. His voice was the anchor in the storm, steady and unwavering. Beside him, Dwayne, the powerhouse of the group, scanned the horizon, his eyes narrowing as he assessed the threats around them. His massive frame stood tall amidst the wreckage of the city, his every movement exuding raw strength and determination. He was the one who would charge headfirst into danger, shielding the team from the worst the enemy had to offer. Next to him was Jason, the wild card, a man who thrived in the chaos. His tattoos, each telling a story of his past, glistened with rain as he grinned fiercely, machetes in hand. The storm didn't faze him, in fact, it only seemed to fuel his unrelenting spirit. And then there was Statham, the quiet, lethal force who had a knack for taking down enemies with surgical precision. His sharp eyes missed nothing, and his movements were swift and calculated. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with. Each of them brought a unique skill to the table, each of them had faced their own demons, and now they were all drawn together by a singular mission: to infiltrate a high-security facility and extract critical intelligence before it was lost forever. But nothing was ever as simple as it seemed. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the city, the team encountered a series of obstacles that tested their strength and resolve. Dwayne led the charge, using his sheer size and strength to tear through enemy lines, his shield held high as bullets ricocheted off of it. His actions were nothing short of heroic, but even he couldn't escape the overwhelming odds they were up against. The enemy was smarter, more organized, and relentless. The rain didn't help matters either, making everything more slippery and dangerous. Meanwhile, Jason reveled in the chaos, his machete slicing through enemies with a fluidity that was almost poetic. His wild laugh echoed through the streets as he danced through the gunfire, completely at ease in the madness. He was a force of nature, a storm all his own. But even his playful nature couldn't hide the underlying seriousness of their situation. There were lives on the line, and they couldn't afford to be distracted. Statham, ever the tactician, worked in the shadows, picking off enemies with precise shots from his silenced pistol. He never missed. He was the eyes of the team, always 5 steps ahead, anticipating the moves of their enemies before they even made them. His cool demeanor and sharp mind were the backbone of their strategy. Without him, the mission would have failed long before it even began. As they approached their target, the intensity of the mission ratcheted up. They had come too far to fail now. But as they breached the facility, they were ambushed by a rival group with the same goal in mind. The firefight that ensued was brutal, the sound of gunfire mingling with the crackling of explosions. The team worked as one, each of them playing their part to perfection. Vin, ever the leader, coordinated their movements, making sure everyone had each other's backs. Dwayne's brute strength tore through walls and enemies alike, clearing the way for the team to advance. Jason charged ahead, cutting down anyone who dared stand in their path, while Statham picked off the enemies from afar, his shots always finding their mark. But just when they thought they had the upper hand, a shocking twist turned everything upside down. A member of their own team had betrayed them, selling them out to the highest bidder. It was a devastating blow, one that left the group reeling. Trust was the foundation of their bond, and now that foundation was cracked. The betrayal sent them into disarray, but it also ignited a fire within them. They couldn't let this setback define them. They had a mission to finish, and no amount of treachery was going to stop them. The storm outside intensified as the team regrouped, ready to finish what they had started. The enemy was closing in, but so was their objective. With renewed resolve, they pushed forward. Dwayne barreled through the last line of defense, clearing a path for Vin and Jason to move forward. Statham's sharpshooting ensured that no one would be left standing in their way. The facility was now within their reach, and they had no choice but to fight until the very end. As they infiltrated the final chambers of the facility, the truth of the betrayal came to light. The traitor was one of their own, someone they had trusted implicitly. The revelation was like a punch to the gut, but it also gave them the fuel they needed to push through. Their bond, forged in the fire of countless battles, was stronger than any betrayal. The final showdown was a blur of motion. Gunfire, explosions, and fists flying in every direction. Vin led the charge, his resolve unshakable. Dwayne tore through the enemy forces, his fists like hammers, unstoppable. Jason laughed maniacally as he swung his machetes, the gleam in his eyes showing no fear. Statham, calm as ever, eliminated any threat with precision and speed. In the end, they achieved their goal, the intelligence was secured. But the cost was high. The team had lost a brother, and the betrayal had shaken them to their core. However, as they stood victorious in the wreckage of the battle, they knew that they had proven something more important than any mission, that no matter what, they were a family, bound together by blood and loyalty. The storm outside began to clear, and in the distance, the first light of dawn broke through the clouds. It was a new day, and their journey was far from over. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was for sure, they would face it together.